to say, man, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. Or via Zoom, anyway.
Likewise,
Yeah.
likewise, likewise. So
How are
happy to
things,
be here.
man?
Yeah, really good, man. Really good. I'm excited that TheaterMania and What's on Stage there in the UK has brought us together. They
Right.
have a series that brings the a character who plays it on Broadway, and then the
Right.
character who the person who plays the same character in the UK together to interview each other. So that's why we're here today.
Yes, we are. We're gonna
Really
have some
excited
fun.
to, yeah, finally talk to you, man.
You know what I mean?
So I'll go first, if that's
Okay,
cool.
cool. Yeah,
All
man.
right. Okay,
Right.
so this is everybody. This is Shaun Escoffery, who plays Mufasa. Shaun, you've been playing Mufasa in the UK, coming up on 15 years now?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, 15. So 15 years. So how has your experience playing the role of Mufasa changed over all those years?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Well, firstly, I mean, when I first started, I was like a deer in headlights, because the show's been running for a while, and there's been a plethora of different actors that have played the part prior to me. So there were
Right.
big boots to fill, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
at first I was like, am I doing this right? So first of all, my first initial thing was, play this kingly role and just kind of emphasize king, king, king. And it's all wrong.
I did the same thing.
All wrong. And so throughout the years, it's kind of been a thing of actually, no, he's a father. He's just
Right.
a dad,
Yeah.
and he walks in his regality. He's what
Yeah.
he is. He's a warrior king. He puts that in the back burner. He's a king. He puts that in the back burner. It's all about Simba and him being a father,
Yeah.
And so it's been an evolving and still evolving process. Right. So,
Sweet.
sir, I have a question
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
How do you keep your performances fresh? And do you have like a ritual or a kind of thing that you do to kind of get your mind in the right kind of headspace before each performance?
Yeah. Yeah. So like keeping the show fresh is like that's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
Especially for a long running show. And I'm coming up. I'm in my 17th year in the show because I started in the ensemble, so I'm in my 17th year in the show. But it's like trying to keep it fresh. That is a $1 million question. But I just think back to, I guess like for me it's like twofold. Of course, I think about the audience first and foremost. And I didn't see my first like professional theater production until I was in high school.
Wow.
And so it's like I think about the responsibility, I think about the responsibility of introducing theater to that first time theater goer every single time that I step on stage, and and what that is. And so then it's like automatically you kind of kick into overdrive or high gear, just to keep it fresh for them. But then also it's like the second part of that is, I guess when I started theater, I was doing it kind of as a means to like escape my reality, if you know what I mean. But then like that's kind of changed over time, and now I really use it to kind of explore who I am right now, and so it's like, and we're always evolving, right? And so it's like if you kind of lean, or I find if I lean into what it is that I'm experiencing in my life like right now and try to add pieces of that into my performance, and it's not the same performance as it was yesterday or the day before that, it automatically kind of keeps it fresh, and that's fun, and it keeps me honest with myself. So it's like regardless of what's going on in my life, I try to bring a little piece of that into my performance. So hopefully that keeps it fresh. You know what I mean? And then the other thing, it's like as far as rituals go, one of the things that I've done, because I started in the ensemble, I make it a point. Like the male ensemble room is right on my way to makeup, and so I stop in there every single day. Like the show is about community. You know what I mean? And so it's like I make it a point to just kind of to share some space with the other. The principal hallway is so separate from everybody else, so I just kind of make it a point to see, to show my face to as many people as possible and make sure that I lay some eyes on the rest of my company members. That's like one of my favorite rituals in the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
I don't know. All right. So for you, what's your favorite part of the show that you're not in? Because you've only ever done Mufasa in the show, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So what's your favorite part of the show that you're not in?
Gosh, that changes from, I say, week to week, month to month.
Right. Yeah.
Currently, I am loving kick butt, man. I'm loving kick butt. Each time I'm watching them and I'm seeing them kind of just, because obviously, I don't know if you know, but I'm a devout martial artist. I love, so watching their moves and they go, and screaming and shouting and kind of giving that emphasis and that energy, man, I'm gone. Do you know what I mean? So right now, that's my scene. That's my scene, man. It'll change.
I'm with that. I'm with that. Yeah. I could get that's definitely a get you hype number.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And like you said, it's that thing. It's that thing of camaraderie. It's that thing of we kind of each lifting each other up. Throughout the performance. So I'm glad I can draw something from them, and I hope they get something from me as well. So yeah, man. Right. So here's a deeper question for you, sir.
Okay.
How has being a father in real life affected your performance on stage?
Yeah, a lot. a lot. And I would say it works the other way too. Me play like my son when I started this show was 3 years old. He's 21 now.
Wow.
And so it's so I've quite literally found who I was as a father while also doing this show. And I would say that like a couple of the biggest things is I think you default as a parent, you default to knowing that there's a lot of people who are depending on you, and then you feel the weight of the responsibility to always get it right. Yeah. And I think doing this show has kind of helped me understand or just accept and receive that doesn't have to be the case. That I don't always get it right. I haven't always got it right. My son will tell you that. My son will tell you that. Like I don't always get it right, but it's like it's okay if we are learning together. And I think that makes a far more rich experience for not only me as a father, to my son, but just us as human beings, kind of working through life together. Right. And then, raising a young man, it's like, I don't want him to think that he always has to get it right.
That's beautiful. Yeah, man. Beautiful, man. So, that's it. It's done.
No, I got another question for you, man.
Okay, cool.
I want to know what it was like for you, the process of working the mask into your performance. Like what was that like?
Oh gosh, at first, honestly, difficult. Right? As at first, I was getting the mechanics of it, just kind of that kind of whole bolognese and so obviously we rehearsed it and they kind of showed us the different movements. But when it changed is when I kind of thought, okay, you know what? How would a man lion do this? How would and it sounds really bizarre, but that's how just my thought process was going through. And I was like, so he's strong, he's heavy, but he's light. He's agile, but he's strong, And so I thought, then how do I incorporate that with the actual mask movement? I was thinking, well, and I tell you what it was looking at the kind, the illustration of the evolutionary kind of chain. So from that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Joe. So I was thinking, well, if I can kind of have that in my mind's eye, that when I'm becoming from the man lion thing to my thing, and then it's that kind of that transformation happens in my mind's eye. Hopefully that will translate physically.
I like that.
You see what I mean? And so that's kind of where and that's how I start to process it. Yeah. And then throughout the years of I say perfected, I don't know if I've perfected it, but I've tried to just to kind of, make that a thing. So every time I'm literally on stage now, that's literally my mind, the process is that, I'm from kind of out of control, kind of animalistic kind of being to bringing it back to a regal kind of stoic king. Do you see what I mean? So it's that literally that is the transition and all of the madness in between that. You know, so yeah, so I hope that's an illustration. I hopefully, you know, I illustrate it on stage. I hope that comes across. So it's been a process. It's been a process.
It's crazy because it's like, you know, I think that us, like, especially in like Western culture, it's like mask work and stuff and puppets are not something that we traditionally use in theater. And like for me, it was like when you break it down and you realize that, you know, there are these cultures who have been using masks and puppets in their storytelling for ever, you know what I mean? Forever. It's like, this is just new to us. And so it's like, you really get to kind of tap into theater, you know, these theater traditions that have existed long before us. It's like, I mean, for me, that kind of really helped me, but I like the visual of that, you know, of that kind of evolutionary, because that's literally what we're, you know, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know,
that's dope. I love it.
Letting the beast out, you know?
Yeah.
Love it, mate. Love it. Right. So I got one more for you, sir. All
sure.
Right, so throughout the years you've been playing Mufasa, all right, have you had any kind of funny, scary, or unexpected moments? And if so, how did you deal with them?
Ooh, dang. Dang. I mean, listen, you know, we work with, like, our main scene partners are the kids, and so those are wild. Kids are wild cards. So it's like, you know, and they're going to give you something different every single time that they step on stage. Recently, when the show returned, we had, you know, there were a lot of COVID cases, and you know, we did a really, really good job of kind of mitigating that, mitigating the cases and stuff, and keeping the show going. There was one, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there was one show where we didn't have a young Nala, and one of our young Simbas actually went on in the role of young Nala.
Wow.
He wore blacks. He knew the lines. Like he knew the blocking. Like he went on and he killed it. You know, so that was interesting. Like doing the show with both of my, you know, with both of my sons. But he was so willing to just kind of step in. And I think that, you know, that was a really cool moment, and it kind of made everybody just kind of step up. It's like, look at this kid, you know, it's just kind of going out there, you know. But
awesome.
Live theater, anything can happen, man.
You know what I mean? I'll tell you, listen, live theater.
I have one more question for you.
Go on. Right.
Can I please get a follow back now on Instagram?
Most definitely. I'm doing it right now. As soon as we come off Zoom, I'm doing it right now.
No, but seriously, man, it's been great to finally get to sit down and chat with you, man. You know, I've loved watching the trajectory of, you know, not only what you've been able to do with the role of Mufasa, but your music career and your martial arts is super inspiring, man. So.
Thank you. And likewise, man. I've heard so much about you. And I saw you on, was it I don't know what the show's called, but it's like you guys were kind of jamming in like a live with all the musicians.
Oh, yeah. Tiny Desk. We just did Tiny Desk. Wicked. Absolutely fantastic, man. I was like, so anyone who's watching this, make sure you watch it, man, because it was great. I was like, yes, I've got to talk to that man. I said, I've got to talk to him. You know, but yeah, absolutely blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. So awesome. Yeah, nice, man. Well, it's been great, brother.
Yeah, you too, bro. You too. And listen, I'm gonna hook you up right now on Instagram. All right, so we can carry on this conversation.
Let's keep in contact, man.
Most definitely.